Welcome to my channel. Long time no see. Still working from home and everything, and in my spare time I've been... Stop it. In my spare time and everything, I've been doing some genealogy research. So, we have a mystery man in our family tree. It was on my mother's side. My father's side and stuff, I've researched, I've got it back to the 1600s or whatever and everything. And pretty much, I think I've pretty much got that one down, but I'm not 100% sure. But on my mother's side, my great-great-grandfather on my great-grandpa's side was a rather scandalous man. To say he was an asshole would be an understatement. When my great-great-grandmother was pregnant with like child number 9 or 10, I think it's 10, I'm not sure, he decided he was just going to take off, leave all of his kids behind. The youngest child at the time that he took off, or the oldest, excuse me, the oldest child at the time that he took off was 15 years old. So she was basically left to raise all these children by herself, and she never remarried, so she did raise all these kids by herself. Family history had it that he took off with a school marm and moved to California. Well, we never really knew for sure. So during some of the recent genealogy research that I have done, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to look and see if I can't find something I'm in. With so much information on the internet these days, I thought, surely I've got to find this guy. So first thing I started doing was looking for, trying to find him on the Find a Grave. So I was doing variations of his name because Atkinson has been spelled so many different ways and wasn't really finding what I was looking for. I found some, but it wasn't who I was looking for. So then I started kind of looking at census records and saw some of the people that were around this area at that time, and found ended up finding a Sarah Frances Carpenter. So then started kind of looking at her. And then there was a Sarah Frances Atkinson in Texas, which I thought was even odder. And whenever I looked at the census records, I saw that she was born in Missouri, which was even more odd. And then I got to looking a little closer, and lo and behold, that was the gal that great-great-grandpa had taken off with. So I got to looking at some more census records from the late 1890, 1900, and there he was. With his wife and 3 more daughters. Yes, this man was very prolific, apparently. Must have wore boxers, not briefs. So anyway, so he apparently decided that he needed to hitch up with a younger woman and take off to Texas and just start a brand new family. So it was kind of interesting. That was pretty much what I thought had happened, but to put the proverbial nail in the coffin, I did happen to find an article which I thought was really interesting, and it just goes to prove and stuff that it may take years, and you may meet a lot of dead ends, and you may chase a lot of the wrong paper trails and everything. But I found you. I found you, you son of a bitch. I may have to take a trip down there just to dance on his grave. I don't know. But apparently her father was not real happy with her and the fact that she had taken off with a married man, because I found her father's will. And in her father's will, you know, the boys always get the land and the farm and all that other stuff. Well, he gave his other daughters $100 apiece, and to Sarah Frances, she got $10 and no more. And it was stated specifically in his will several times that she was to get $10 and no more. So right there, he was pissed at her. You could tell he was. or she'd have got a lot more than that. All she got was $10. Also, on James David Atkinson's father's will, in the probate and stuff, it's like it has John David's name mentioned in there and this stuff, and it says supposedly in Texas. So when I found John David in Texas and it's mentioned on his father's will that he is supposedly in Texas, that pretty much nailed the case right there. Plus the fact that apparently Sarah Francis, which is the gal that John David ran off with, apparently her father was so upset he went to Sedalia looking for her. And I'll actually read you the article here. Okay, this article is dated September 20th, 1874, and it is from the Missouri Sedalia Democrat. Now keep in mind that his last daughter, John David Atkinson's last daughter, was born October of 1874. So his wife was 8 months pregnant when he took off. Piece of shit. Abducted. A married man elopes with a girl. Jacob S. Carpenter is an honest old man who yesterday came to Sedalia with his heart full of sorrow in search of his errant daughter who had left the home of her parents and fled with a married man. He seemed bowed beneath his affliction, and with trembling voice and tearful eyes related his story, which was as follows. He was born in 1816 and is consequently 58 years of age. In 1835, when he was 10 years of age, he came to what was then Morgan, but what is now Montauk County, and settled down. He now lives 4.5 miles from Tipton, having resided in that vicinity for 39 years. He is married and has 8 children, 4 boys and 4 girls, 2 of the latter being married. Of the 2 daughters who remained at home was Frances, which is Sarah Francis, about 30 years of age, and it was her of whom the old gentleman was in search. In the same neighborhood for the last 2 years has lived a man by the name of John D. Atkinson, which is my great-great-grandfather, whose occupation was that of a school teacher. Now see, I think that's where the school marm thing gets mixed up and stuff, is that apparently he was the teacher, which I never knew that. I thought he was a farmer. Atkinson was a school teacher. As the old man remarked, he was too lazy to work. Not only was he lazy, he was a liar and a deadbeat. Atkinson is about 40 years of age, is married with several children, his oldest boy being about 15 years of age. Atkinson, like all neighbors, was on visiting terms with the Carpenters and frequently called at their abode, and unknown to the latter, warm intimacy sprang up between the teacher and his daughter Frances. This, it seems, has now culminated into criminal love. Some 2 or 3 weeks ago, Atkinson told Carpenter that he received an agency for the Victory Sewing Machine Company and that it had about 100 machines in Sedalia. He expected to have to go to Sedalia and distribute the machines around the country at points where he could establish agencies. A week ago, last Monday, his daughter Frances left home to visit her uncle who resided at Clark's Station. On the Wednesday following, she received a letter from someone in Otterville and wished to leave her uncle's that very evening. She said for home. It's hard to read. This old type is like half missing. She remained until the next day, Thursday, when she left ostensibly for her home. Since that time, she has not been seen or heard of. On Tuesday morning, after Frances had gone to her uncle's, Atkinson left, he said, for Sedalia, telling his family that he should be gone for 2 weeks, and if he established himself in business, he would write and let them know. Since that time, he's not been seen or heard of. Mr. Carpenter then suspicioned that the whole affair was a planned elopement and came to the city yesterday. He visited the various sewing machine companies' agents there and found that Atkinson's representations were false about the Victory sewing machine. He made the matter known to the police, but no such man could be found. There is no doubt that Atkinson is a villain and that the old man's daughter has fallen victim to his lust. Atkinson is represented to be about 40 years of age, but young-looking, 5 feet 9 inches tall, black full whiskers and mustache, dark eyes and hair. Frances Carpenter is about 30 years of age, medium size, but rather slim, auburn hair, blue eyes, and fair complexion. She has a mole on her cheek. Should this come to the eye of anyone cognizant of their whereabouts, we would consider a great favor upon 2 bereaved and disgraced families by letting them know it. So there you have it. So now I know exactly what happened to John David Atkinson. I know where he's buried. I know he had apparently 4 more children, but only 3 out of them actually made it to adulthood. So that is the end of John David Atkinson. Put an end to finally find out what actually happened to the guy. So all I can say is apparently great-great-grandma was better off without him. She raised some really good kids. So anyway, we all have them in our families. We can pick our noses, we can pick our butts, but we can't pick our family. So there you have it. Anyway, I thought you might find the story just a little bit interesting. Like I said, we can't choose them. God bless them. Anyway, thanks for watching.